לכן בראשותו של הרב גרשון קונגס, PVD, להשתחרר בערבות מהכלא לקראת גזר דינו בתחילת אוקטובר לאחר שהורשע בעבירות שיפוי לזנות. עורכי דינו של קונגס ביקשו לשחררו בערבות על סך 50 מיליון דולר, בטענה שהתנאים במרכז המעצר בברוקלין מסוכנים, נאשמים שהורשעו בעבר באישומים הדומים לאלה של קונגס שוחררו לפני גזר דינם. בית המשפט דחה את הבקשה.
Very difficult chadashot, huh? Oh, you saw the video? No. Saw it? I was crying. They told him, like, careful, son. But he also was crying. Oh, he was crying. He would like shit it out some more. Concentration on one. So, but he needs for 2 days. They give me one half a pizza for 3 days. The world doesn't care. Oh, yeah. No, the world doesn't care. They're saying there's a famine in Gaza. They're not showing. This video they're not showing in the world. It's not showing. They didn't show. The post. The first page. Yeah, sure. Only the post. Only the other one. The post showed it? Showed it yesterday, and today, picture of he and his brother, and it said there, let my brother be alive. Like the brother saying, they showed a picture of both of them when they were not, and on the side, they saw his picture, couldn't declare like yesterday. I think it's only the post, not time, nobody. I don't call the paper then. What kind of is of really active? World press is reporting about Hamas not surrendering, not kilu. They're nothing. But as if they're not surrendering, they're holding out to have a Palestinian state. They're not, and they're reporting that there's a famine. We won't forget what happened in October. They want to forget. Who started this? Who raped and killed and cut the head of the child and put it in the oven? That's what they did. And each Hamas had a camera that's showing what he's doing. And they collect all these and they made one universe. What's more than that? Let's hope. Today, my daughter called me Tehila from Israel. She went to Mazar, the one my hostage. The killing before his death, before internet, they didn't know he's alive for that. So we went to her a lot of time. My kids went to her, and we made the album. She was so happy. An album of? Huh? The pictures of her with my kid, adventure there with us, with my son when he was there, and my other son, cousins. With who? With her. We went to visit her. Oh, they gave her a nice place. So we went in a year and a half. We went a lot of time. We didn't know that he's dead. Nobody knew. So I asked my grandson. This was her son, Mazal's son. Her husband. What was his last name? Huh? What was his last name? He was the oldest hostage. Right. His name is unforgettable. Mansour. Shlomo Mansour. He was 76. He was lucky not to have the torture of a year and a half. It was the torture of the whole family now here. His daughter, Deborah, that's an Hadassah, that's the name. She went every week to the Knesset, talking, everyone. She's home. My daughter, Tehila, and Yudi from the Pepper and the son went to the Levaya in Kishuvim. At Levaya, we put the body. with like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in the picture. But today, Netanyahu ordered that they should go in and no choice. But it's so funny. So there's pictures. The report says that Ayal Zamir, the Ramatkal, is against it. I don't understand. How could that be? He was picked by Netanyahu. How could that be? Because it's already almost 2 years. And a lot of Chayalim already gave up. A lot of officers said, we can't take it anymore. Can't do so much Miguelim. Soldiers going every 3-4 months home for 2 days. They already, it said in Hebrew, Nishhaku, they become, I don't know how to say Nishhaku. They can't take it anymore. Degraded. Yeah. They did everything that possible. They have another 25% of Gaza. But they have a lot of talent that is still in touch. And they are this now. Not only that, some hostages, they are hostages by houses, paying them money, and you keep them out. So they don't know how many get killed at these. They're afraid if other people said, if they will go and destroy all Hamas, they can go to kill the hostages. Because Hamas sees some decline. They did, when they come close to them, they kill them right away. I think the first move after the flooded off Hamas with us. Showing video like this, everyone in Israel will show it. Not the family. Family, of course. My daughter didn't want to show it to me. But I'm with him a lot. Today, I came in the morning, I put together food, whatever left over, he gave it to 4 families. He said, the food is empty. He says, good for the shoot, good for you, good for everybody. So people used to Jeff, good. Good. That's a mitzvah. Yeah. Sure. People get all money. Very good. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Everybody push learning. What's one? Okay. With our learning Torah, for sure, it'll help. Yeah. I hope that they're going to go into. He gave an order that they should go in, that they should do it. The quicker they do it, the more chance we have to get back the hostages. They have to just take over the whole place. The final thing is, after they showed these Hebrews, the whole war zone won. Hamas right away said, oh, we let the Red Cross to come in and we give them medicine and food, whatever you need. Red Cross, where are you for 2 years? We didn't go even one time to check how they're doing. Hamas will not let them, regardless. But Red Cross, all over the world, something happened, they go right away. Israel, forget, you have to cross them. I want to go see what's there. Israel let Red Cross come to the Israeli jet to see Hamas they can do it. See how they're doing that. Health-wise, food, and because they are Israeli Jews, but the Hamas now went down. Okay, we let them go, but Israel has to stop in this time shooting and doing this. They have their own, like they're winning, so they give their own, I called you because we're going Shabbat to Jackson. If you know any people going to Lakewood, and some people from Lakewood. You know, a lot of people in the Lakewood that you know. So I really appreciate the chat, okay? The 3 people. Thank you. Amen. Okay, look, our learning will for sure help. Our talking strategies. Look, if he gave if he gave an order that they should do it, hopefully they'll do it and they'll do it quick. When they do, they will help. They were against half of the country. It's like a beetle, mom's till the time of the birth. Yeah. Mom's just same politics. Same politics, exactly. See the video? It's from Michigan. Yeah. Right. So the video? If you have to listen to it, they made him make it away for himself. All right. Only Hashem. This is the time that Hashem, you control the world knowing. Well, first page. So, think about Nabi Yirmiyahu. You're talking about Shabbos, about Yeshayahu. The truth is, the story of Yeshayahu is B'diuk, the story of today. B'diuk. The Shevna said, well, B'diuk. But the story of Yirmiyahu is that Yirmiyahu was begging the Eden to do tshuva. So when they brought to the king the Megillah was brought in Kabbalah, that Rebbe brings in the Maimer, that Yirmiyahu Navi was a Gilgal Neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu. And so Moshe Rabbeinu was a leader for 4 years. He was a leader, Yirmiyahu was for 4 years. There's a lot of similarities. And in the Parsha it says, Eicha esel avavi torchachem asachem verivchem. So the Rebbe says that that's the pshat, that why he started the Megillah was Megillah's Eicha. Because just like Moshe Rabbeinu said, Eicha esel, the Lashon of Eicha is the Lashon of Moshe Rabbeinu. Because it was a Gilgal of his Neshama. Megillah's Eicha was written 7 times with the Aleph base. Perek Aleph is Aleph. Every Perek is Aleph base. The first Perek is about, crying of Yerushalayim. It's the image of Yerushalayim crying. Isha Korah. Chazal say that he went away. That Yirmiyahu, as it says in Tanakh, was as he was leaving the city of Yerushalayim, he wrote the Megillah Eicha. He gave it to Baruch Beneria, who gave it to the king. The Sodom were really angry, so they took him and they threw him into a pit, and he almost died. And why give it to the king? Who's the king? The king, Tzidkiyahu, it's Yochim Tzidkiyahu, and the king wanted the prophet, so they had no choice. They took him out of the pit, and he complained to the king that they almost killed him. So the king said, "Tell me what's going to be," and he told the king exactly what's going to be. And the king got very angry, and he told them they should put him in jail. But again, they threw him in the pit. Eventually, Yirmiyahu was able to get out. When Yirmiyahu came back, it was already the time of the Churban. And Chazal say, Psikta Rabbah, that he saw the Beis HaMikdash, like the woman was in the plate, and he was having a conversation with the woman. And one of the Shechina. And one of the kinas, it's a beautiful kina, it's one of the earlier kinas, where it's that conversation between Yirmiyahu Navi and the woman. He said, "Asi tshuva tachas hayosach kol kach hashuva." It rhymes very much. "Asi tshuva tachas hayosach kol kach hashuva." He says, "Who are you?" And she says, "I am ein l'shloishani le'echad l'shivim l'shishim ribu." And then he says, "Do tshuva," and she says, "I did tshuva." And then he turns to Eibishter, and he turns to the others. It's a beautiful kina. That's based on that Psikta Rabbah. The first Perek is talking about the pain of Yerushalayim. Second, the pain of Klal Yisrael. The third is Aleph Beis, but every pasuk is 3 times. 3 times Aleph, 3 times Beis. And the fourth Perek is again Aleph Beis. The fifth Perek is Aleph Beis, but not on the Seder. But it has it's 12. Chazal say Psikta. The Asarti es from Sheval Kachat Seichem, it's 7 times the Aleph base. That Megillah's Eicha is based on 7 times the Aleph base. Yirmiyahu, no, he wrote a lot. He wrote, according to the Gemara, he wrote Sefer Malachim, he wrote Yirmiyahu, and he wrote Eicha. From Chav Dalet Sefer Kodesh, a lot. He wrote Malachim, Malachim Aleph and Beis. The whole Malachim, he wrote Yirmiyahu, and he wrote Eicha. The whole Kinot, the Sephardi guy that wrote it down, he said that from Aleph to Beis. A lot of them are Aleph to Beis. A lot of them is Aleph to Beis because you have to understand it's based on Eicha, and since Eicha is based on Aleph to Beis, that's why a lot of the Kinas are based on Aleph to Beis. Aleph to, it's the same. A lot of the Kinas are based on the thing of Eicha. But Zerishan or Elazar Kal is a Pella. The Alter Rebbe says he was a Talmud. The problem is that all the Choikim say it's not true. He lived in Europe or he lived in Israel in the 9th century or the 10th century. And the truth is that in the Kinas, it's the Shon's time. And it says that Elazar Kal, but there is a discrepancy. One of the Kinas, right, he lived in Kidei Sefer in Israel. One of the Kinas, it says, thank you, Eivishter, for holding back Niyosa Sina Kvusha, Yosa Mitshame Shona. And then the Mamish 3 Kinas later, he says, we're already in Golos more than 1,000 years. And they're both signed by the Elazar Kal. Can't live that long. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know a scholarly answer, but I know that the Gedol Yisrael, so it could be there was a Tana that wrote things and they were later touched up 1,000 years later by someone else. There has to be a Hezbollah. I'm not sure what the Hezbollah is. He wrote 90% of the Kinot. He wrote 90% of the Kinot. Maybe one here, one there. Yeah. Well, also like I'll be able to this, so I keep arguing with the research. Right. No, but here is when did he live? And the Alter Rebbe says that he had the koyach to write kroivis. Kroivis is like a type of piyut called Koil Rina Vishua Ba'ala Tzadikim. And some Ashkenazim will say kroivis, say it in the first 3 brachas of Shemona Esrei. And the Alter Rebbe says he has the right to do it because he was a Tana and he lived in Kiryas Sefer. Tana? Yeah, but then scientists say, the historians say that he lived 1,100 years ago. So whatever, there has to be an explanation. Was the same Kiryas Sefer that's there? No, I don't think so. I don't think they have any. It's like it's. It's beautiful. Yeah. Like Negra, same thing. Yeah, same like Negra. It's like a lot of places in Israel. Beis Shemesh is the same Beis Shemesh. Bnei Brak is the same Bnei Brak. We have no idea where the original Bnei Brak is, but we gave a name to cities. Anyway, Yirmiyah writes Megillas Eicha. I mentioned Shabbos that the Rebbe had a big call that there is Shimas from the Tzemach Tzedek and the Eicha. Every single pasuk in Eicha is Lamal Yusuf. Here there's a mimer that the Rebbe said on the Kriyas of this year, where it's already after Chatzos Erev Tisha B'Av, and the whole mimer is on one of the psukim. The Rebbe picked the first pasuk and the second Perek because it's talking about Yid. It's about the pain of the Yid. And the Rebbe's Mavah says, based on the Tzemach Tzedek, that says that everything must be Lamal Yusuf. Never gave a mimer Lamal Yusuf. It's unbelievable. It's just an unbelievable thing. Let's go straight into the way because Pasha time is so short. Let's turn the page to Oisyu Beis. Inye ze shadafke al yedei yerida boim le'ila gol yoysa mutkish kam b'chosek eicha yov ba'arpoi shebemegillas eicha. Beis. Only we're done. Get the yeah. One of the whole box. But very big like yeah. Yeah, all the bun. Here, in the Perek Beis starts with like every Perek, it's Aleph Beis. Eicha Yov be'Apoy. Adoyna is Basin Hishlach Mishmaim Eretz Tiferes Yisroel Lezocher Adem Raglo B'Yom Apot. Simple pshat. That the Eibishter with his anger, Eicha with his how everything is Eicha. How come? Eicha. How come all this has happened? Stam on a topic. Sorry, people are asking. How come we don't make for the Holocaust? There's several reasons. I said on Tisha B'Av one reason, but one of the other reasons, which I think is obvious, and it's a Tam Komas, no one's going to say it. I'm really so very scared about ceremonies that are going to happen that are not in the spirit of Torah. If you look in Eicha and subsequently the Kinnis, it's very, very complicated. On one hand, we're Tainus Neibishtam. On the other hand, we're saying, sorry, we want to do tshuva. And then we're saying, but when it's unacceptable to wait till we fully do tshuva because you have to bring the issue immediately. There's a lot of humility and a lot of kindness at the same time. And you have to strike the right balance. And they were very scared that there'll be ceremonies that will be nishlois gehalten I know they were very angry. The religious rabbanim. They asked Ben Gurion not to make it on Chodesh Nisan. It's Chodesh Nisan. It's also to be moed avelus on Chodesh Nisan, and he didn't want to listen. I don't know why. Dafke made a Chodesh Nisan. We can make it any other month here. So that's why they were very. Dafka. Could be Dafka, right? Ben Gurion was a real, So that's why they were nervous about making, for such a thing, you can't just make a text that we're going to cry. We have to have time to sit on Shalom. But who's going to write? Who's going to set the tone? Who's going to set the tone? David Ben-Gurion? Who's going to set? Levi Eshkol? Who's going to set? It has to be with a strong time. He wrote a beautiful. Also, Nike wrote a beautiful kinna. Rav Weissman, a few more. Menashe Klein wrote a beautiful kinna. But still, to make a big thing, I think they were nervous. Because Mitzad Echad, you have to have strong time to say about Ishlam. How could you let it go? Mitzad Hasheni, you have to know. Gedolei Yisrael knew how to strike the right balance between having strong time to say about Ishlam at the same time, doing tshuva, not chas v'shalom, like you're saying over the story, Samar jumped and say thank you. The host, he was standing right, something. So, look at the Rebbe, Samar always tried in the Holocaust, what Hashem sent us. Samar said, we don't ask questions. Two of them says, stop being masturbation. Yeah, I heard that. You have the same. Right. And I don't. But this is tzaddikim. That of course you don't want to leave it for David Ben Gurion to set the tone of how to. There has to be kindness. There has to be, but the kindness like the Navi Yirmiyah, the kinnis. People from the Shoah, against religious. I think that's the real reason that they're very nervous about striking the right tone. That's always gehalten on Torah, but still, it's also very wrong. It's very wrong. Suffering Kuru was also very raw at that time. It was the wrong thing at that time. For his time of healing, it wasn't a time. The pain was so big that it wasn't shaykh cloud. Anyway, the Rebbe had a big koch in learning every pasuk in Eicha L'mal Yusa. It's an unbelievable thing. Pasuk Pshat is Eicha Yov Ba'apid. Eibishter has anger. And how we have a taina. Eicha, how is it that Yoiv, Rashi says Yov means a thick cloud, that the Eibishter in his great anger brought out a thick cloud, and he made that this cloud should darken as Bas Tzion, should darken Kal Yisrael. He threw down the Tiferes Yisrael, the glory of the Jews. He smashed it. And Lozocher Adon Raglo b'yem Apod, Rashi says Adon Raglo is a Oretz Adon Raglo which is based on Mikdash, and he totally forgot about Adon Raglo b'yem Apod. That's the first pasuk in Perek Beis. The Rebbe is going to learn the whole pshat from Malyusa. Unbelievable thing. It's just unbelievable. In je zegt shadafke de yrid van little god will mut geshkam pas ege yo baapish. Ik moet zeggen de hek den hinne je door. Als pas met dat we maar zo zeggen. Der is ook wel zo afgebrochen en ken je slamme gamken ege valies. But someone said you could say that ege has an aliyah. An aliyah the Malyusa in other words. Baruch has a psukim shebeicha Yoshua l'malyus. Mamash kosa shezel dera shakol zefal abracht lo mich kshem shepish l'malyus b'tachach shbeterish Moshe. ספר יקרא שבע דברים הוא בכל פסוקים. וככה בנגיע למגילת איכה שכתוב ירמיהו, בפרט לפעמים מבואר בקבלה שמירמיהו היה גילגול ניצה של מוישה, שלכן שניהם נסנבו באיכה. שהפירוש של מניוסו לא רק בפסוקי איכה יהושע, אלא גם בפסוקים דאיכה יוב ובכל מגילת איכה. So Tzaddik doesn't explain every pasuk. The Rebbe says you must learn every pasuk l'mal yusa. The Rebbe is going to now say the first pasuk in Perek Beis. I think the reason he picked this pasuk because the first Perek there's already a lot of psukim that Tzaddik himself explained. Also, the second Perek is directly against the pain of Klal Yisrael. Vin Yehudi Rashi Pirush Yoav Yafel. Kumay dat Omer Shemaim is Kader Ba'aviv. Yoav means thick. Became Shemaim Hiskader became dark. Be'aviv. There's a lot of ways to call a cloud. One of the ways in Hebrew Avim is cloud. Wow, exactly. אבל אצל הצדק שינין אובים ואיפל זה יש להם דהיינו מה שיורד המלכות הקדוש של השביעי במלכות הקדוש נויגה. וזהו איך יוב שיורד בסטין לסלבש בכיסי עד שני אוכל אלס והוא שורש קלופס שלמטה מקלופס נויגה that the קדושה went into three קלופס התמייז אחם כל זה דתשוב יוכל אלס נמשך שדי הצדוקה וזורך בחושך אוירכה ולוסך כצרויים. When he does tzedakah, the faket, he turns around, the choshech should turn into oil. שבחינס הפעיל נסקרס לא יצא לאור גודל, והוא על דרך שום שיכיס נאור דווקא מהחושך, was נאמר כי מיקאלה כופתו פנה. ואומר רז"ל, it says in the pasuk in Yeshaya, about Klal Yisrael, mi'ela koftu fena, that they're like a cloud that will go flying, kiyonim like birds that will be the same to their nest. So, there's two types of clouds. One is called Av and one is called Onon. One is in the Klip and one is in Kedusha. That by Moshe Rabbeinu it says that there was an awesome Kedusha, and the Kedusha was Nizgal and the Onon. שמוישה ניגש אל הרב למטה רשוס כאילו נעל ויסע בכל החבאכם ישראל בכל מקום גם מה זה רק מוישה ניגש אל הרב ומשן כן כל ישראל אז המובן שבחינס הרב אבל זה בחינס איך יואב הוא נעל ויסע גם מגיל לשאר לכל ישראל בשעס מתן תוילה that this was an unbelievable awesome gilul. Every Yid had a gilul Matan Torah. But Moshe Rabbeinu was a nigash al arafel. The Jews were not allowed to go to the arafel. So in other words, this darkness is something which is so awesome, it can't be nizgala. It has to come in a darkness. In general, when we say me, the word me means helam. Me, miza means we don't know. Eila dvorim. Eila means you're pointing with your finger. So in general, me is helam. Eila is gilu. So in order to connect and the me and the Eila, because the pasuk says me Eila, ka'oftu ufeno. So Chassidus says in order to connect the me and the Eila, it has to be through this thick cloud, which is Alma discussing. Shebchinas Eila Shema Bnei Yisrael was ka'oftu ufeno. V'yishlam shachibu de b'chinas me, b'chinas Eila nasim tzadam shachim b'chinas of shebchinas ma'idnala b'chinas k'lil. The pasuk says me Eila ka'oftu ufeno. Yoinim al Rabbi sayim. So according to Chassidus, the me and the Eila come together through the unbelievable level of the thick cloud. That Tzemach Tzedek says the word Eicha means like this. The word Eicha is repeated many times. It's Megillas Eicha. Tzemach Tzedek says, what does the word Eicha mean? Eikoi. שהיו דאיך מוירה על הספירס, הדרך מה שאומר במדרש, שהיו דאיך מוירה על הספירס הדיברס. ישלם שבאס הספירס הנלמוזס, ביו דאיך נקלוגס גם אס הספירס הגנוזס. שאס הדיברס הם מבחינס חקיקה, לגמוס על הספירס הם אס הספירס חקוקה, הגנוזס שהם מיני ובי, we learned a mime at this year, Davka, that in the 10 spheres, there's just like Sefer is written, but in the Luchas it's carved in. There's es spheres hagluyas and es spheres hagnuzas, which in general is the difference between Zeir Ampim and Arich Ampim. Just like by a person operates on two levels, a conscious level, a subconscious. The person's And the subconscious is much deeper, since it's hard to dig into the subconscious of a person. But if you really want to get into who a person is, a person really wants to correct something and change, it's going to what's going on in the subconscious. So that's Esesviris Hagnusis, which is Oisis Hakika. So because Chazal say that the Yud in Eicha is Eicha from Ech, how? Complaint. Oh, okay. Right, how? So here he's saying that the Yud in the Eicha is the 10 Sviris, Esesviris Chakukis. The Aleph Shalifnei Yud Shalamayla Moidal Kina Shalamayla Mesesviris Shalamayla Gam Esesviris Agnuzas. That's the Aleph and the Yud. The Koi Moide Al Bechinas Hamalchus Shnikra Koi V'Gam Kocho. Koi Amar Hashem Kocho, which is Nekeva Malchus. The Yosef Bechinas the Muslavad Kit Museinu Nat Ketzalmenu. Pirish Eicha. The Eva Koi Beteva Achas. When you put together the A and the Koi, Hu Achiva the Bechinas A. Es es Sfiris Agnuzas Salamayla even in Bechinas Koi Malchus. Apize Yesh Lafarish Gam Hashanema Eicha Yoel. Sheinin the Eicha Chibur A and Koi Nasa Mitzat Bechinas Hayoyser al Yona the Yoev Davke. Kniskel Hil Binyan Mi Eila Koftu Fena. Shachibur the Bechinas Mi in Bechinas Eila. Shehu Dugmas Chibur the A Vekoi Nasa Mitzat Bechinas Ov and Eskeres Elil. Just like Chassidus says, Mi Eila Koftu Fena Karu Yona Melarubah same means that we're connecting the Mi and the Eila. Same thing here. Eicha Yoshua Bada. Eicha Yoev Ba'apoi. That through the cloud, this cloud, the Kedusha, which is unbelievable, the opposite of the cloud of Lipa, something which could be Kedusha revealed is awesome. But there's something which is even greater that it can't be revealed. It can only Moshe Nikish Alarofel. So mitzad that Arofel, you could connect the Esas Sfiris Agnuzas and even higher to Malchus directly. Otherwise, it has to go through many levels. But mitzad this awesome Bechina of Yoav, you could connect two opposites, the Esas Sfiris Agnuzas and Malchus. V'zel gam Hashanema Eich Yoav is Basin. Shknesi Yisrael Nikar Kam B'Shem Bas. Lefish Shem Zed Amoir Al Tachlas Amal. In Mavur Baruch B'Drush Chanuk Al Bas Koron B'Sim Bas Sin. Shatam Shknesi Yisrael Nikar B'Shem Bas Dafke Av Shatoir Bas Ver Lachel B'Chinet Taftona. Kedis V'Medrash Loiza Machava Shekor Viti. Loiza Machava Shekor Achasi. Loiza Machava Shekor Imi. So Viti is the lowest level. Well, here we're called Bas Sin. Kilos love it the Sal B'Chinas Bas. Amalim B'Chinas Aim. Valdera Zeish Lopanish Posk Echiyoev as Bas Sin. Shatam Shknas Yisrael Nikar Kam B'Shem Bas Sin Dafke Mitzad Ilu the B'Chinas Bas Shilos love it. That when Mashiach will come, they'll see the mile of Bas. Yesh Lakasha Pirush Zel Malus and Pirush Aposhet. Shochas Haav the Kedusha He Al Yedei Pirur Haav the Klippim. Kniskel Yil Medivrei Hatzamach Tzedek. Sheyorda Bas Sin Lislabesh Bekisoy Haav the Klippim at Sheini Yechol Al Alas Achim Kazei the Tshuva Yechol Al Alas. There's a Pashup shot that here that in Yecha that the Navi is crying. He's crying. The Pashup shot Al Pi Chassidus is that he's crying that there's a thick cloud of Klippa and the Kedusha is being hidden in the Klippa. That's the Pashup shot Al Pi Chassidus. And then there is the deeper pshat of Chassidus, which is that this cloud is an unbelievable cloud of Kedusha. But the connection is that when a Yid does tshuva, Takazo, he goes from a terrible cloud of Klippa to an unbelievable cloud of Kedusha because it's a koyach of tshuva. And a day tshuva nasa biru the bechinas av the Klippa, but doinis nasa kizakuyis, what a kizakuyis, b'chof adin mil gam zakuyis mamish, b'lachein in the dafka, yedei ze nimshach av the Kedusha, neskeres lil. Zeh ma shenema eiche yov ba'api, k'api moira ala gvuris. Shabavoy the Indian tshuva by from the gvuris, and shabbatnatek, lozok tzachot, ma'atzim v'chol yonam. There is a losh of Hashem, where the gvuris eila ba'ap and nasam shochas of the Kedusha. In general, the meaning of the tshuva is associated with gvura. Why? A person is nice to himself, he gives himself a pass. Tshuva is a person bangs on the table with his hand. He said, I'm not going to give myself a pass, I'm going to do tshuva. So tshuva as a shaykhs with gvura, with Indian of apoy. So eicha yoev ba'apoy, when he does tshuva, he turns the av is anonym, the klippa. He turns the anonym, the klippa, into anonym the kedusha. Mamshech b'kosev, Yishlech m'shamayim eretz tiferes Yisrael. Pirush Rashi, Yishlichem la'oretz b'masachas v'loy ma'at ma'at. Nikre Roma l'veira mikta. These are the words of Rashi. Yishlavai linyan ze gam l'mal yusesh. Yishlech m'shamayim eretz, voida l'avoidas ha'tshuva. כנויס לקח שעניין התשובה לא בשמיים ולמטה בארץ, הרי עבודת התשובה לא באופן הסדר והדרג מעט מאוד. כי אם באופן של השלוח דווקא למעלה משתלשלוס נפש האדם, ועל ידי זה נמשך האש למעלה משתלשלוס. וזהו השתך משמיים ארץ תפארת ישראל. תפארת ישראל זה עבודת הצדיקים, שבסדר והדרג מעט מעט. ועל ידי השתך משמיים ארץ כפשוטו, שאין ירידס הנשמה מיגרי רום על הבית המקטע, הנה על ידי זה דווקא מגיעים לעבודת התשובה. שהיא באופן השלוח למעלה משתלשלוס. זהו, איך יאהב באפה, השתך משמיים ארץ, שידי הגבורס, אפה שבעבודת התשובה נעשה עניין להשתך משמיים ארץ, באופן של למעלה משתלשלוס, ודי זה נמשך אז הבחינה יויסג אלוהים לבחינה יויב. So now we can put all the pshatim together. That Eicha Yoev Ba'apa, Apa is in of tshuva, and there is the Av, the Klippa, and there is Av the Kedusha. When he does tshuva, is Mahapa, the Av of Klippa, the Av of Kedusha. And then what happens is that Hishlach Meshamayim Eretz Tiferes Yisrael, that Tiferes Yisrael, which is the union of Avod Tzadikim, that there's something better than that. There's the union of Hashlocha. There's the express, which happens through Avodah of the Baal Tshuva. Messiah Bakosta v'lo zocher Adayim Raglav v'yom Apay. The Poshut Pshat is the Eibush forgot about the Beis Hamikdash, which is Adayim Raglav. But the Pshat Api Lamal Yusa means like this: Hine b'Pirish Adayim Raglav Yisa b'Medush Adam bein Raglav shel Zokein Amila d'Avron. That the Poshut, this is not so Poshut Pshat, but the Medrash says that the Eibush forgot. What did the Eibush forget? Able to forget that Avraham Avinu at the age of 99 it's Chmal given the Mesirus Nefesh. So he forgot Adoim Raglov, the blood that was spraying out of the Bimbein Raglov of Avraham Avinu. The Rebbeinu Shalom Kilu forgot about it. It's a fanachlistic. It's a gemachnish wissendik. He forgot about it. So that's what the Medrash says. Now, what does it mean now? He said this. The Svidis in Yisoid, Zerampen, Yin of Mila is Yisoid. Irish will Zocher, then Aglavish Lamat Shalas of Lavatiash Malamal Shled, is Zerampen. Af, Shabderech Lamaka, Belas Pchinas Amalchus, Pchinas Zerampen, Valderech, you do Shaberesh Kedish. The Sala Malchus, Lakam, Pchinas Kochma Shled, is Zerampen. Vanish Ava Pish, Gam Oz, and Sheras Malchus. Then Koima Venim Salas Mail, Kama Bishabas, Lachen, Shkedish Mutabasis Malothan. Vayisa Asis Malach, Rak Minik, Virak Noshim, Machoma, Kamani Makavelas Machop, Shaloi Yidei Zeirampin. Shabbos, there's Aliyah sermons. That's why you're not allowed to do Balacha. Standing in front of the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's not nice. Standing in front of the Rebbeinu Shalom, taking a cell phone, and give a message. Steht in front of the Melech Malach 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 Baruch Hu. So Shabbos Lamitas Malach is awesome. Rish Chodesh is they call the Yom HaMaisa. Why is it mutter to Malacha? Because you're not standing in front of Melech Malach Malach Baruch Hu, Boif and Golden. So a Malchus is not going up the Pchinas Chochma, yet Chochma is going to give Amshachet to Malchus Shaloi al Yedei, the regular Ishtalshlus through Zeir Ampim and through Yisoid. It's direct deposit. Chomokim erim mekabelas machochma Shaloi de Zeir Ampim. Bin Yezeh Shmaila b'Rish Chodesh al Shabbos. Shadafke b'Rish Chodesh in a Malchus Tfeila l'Zeir Ampim and l'Fishem Megelis of Pkin Kov. Shaken when it has an Aliyah and Shabbos, it goes through Zeir Ampim to go up. Ikir Aliyah Samalko, Shittisala Lakava, Pkin Shalamal, Pkin Zeir Ampim, you lost it, love it. Valzen Nemer, Veloy Zocher Adoyin Raglav, Lamal Yusa. Mashenemer Veloy Zocher Dem Raglav B'Yemape, Ereze Mitzada Shaychus, Shul Tzvidas Hamalchus, Lopchinas Agvuris, Shin Yezeh Yigam lost it, love it. Algere, Shagam B'Rish Chodesh, Niseres Hamalchus B'Mekoima, Valderech Yedu B'Yin Akav, Shagam lost it, love it. Shakav Yino Geyev Etov Gam Beigdol She Mitachtisoy Yin Nikre B'Shem Kav Shukav Kotze. It's brought in Kabbalah lost at Lovoi. The Kav that the Eibushter made that goes out to shine in the Tzimtzum is going to be in Negeyev Beigdol. It's going to touch Mamish the Igul Agodol Shalifnei Tzimtzum. But still, it's going to be the Kav is going to stay a Kav. Malchus is going to stay Malchus. But usually, and for a Gilui, even an extra Gilui, even a Shabbos, which is an Aliyah's Arlamas, so it goes through the Memutza of Zeir Ampim. But over here we're saying lost love it'll be a Chidush Dover. The Veloy B'Yom Apay, instead of everything that Rebbe is learning on Malgusa. B'Yom Apay doesn't mean when the Eibush is angry. It means when it's a day of tshuva, which af is the inyan of tshuva. Because the inyan of tshuva is so strong that the Eibush Tekilu forgets. Usually, this is the inyan of the Sfiras HaYesod, Bein Aglav Shel Avram Avinu, which is Sfiras HaYesod. So any Hamshach HaKadosh in the world comes with Bein Aglav. Just like the Gashmis, Hamshach, the Eloda, having children, has to happen through the mitzvah of Mila. It has to be first. That's why you have first Mila. Because Yitzchak has to be. It has to be in the way of kedusha. Take away the Mila Agasa, Daka, Mol, Poda. But it has to be through the Mila. There's no Hamshach kedusha without through the Mila. But through this extraordinary tshuva that he does, so because a Yid the tshuva, the Eibush says, forget about Hadoim Raglov. Forget about giving the Hamshachim from Chochmah to Malchus through Midas HaYesod. It'll be direct deposit. It'll be direct. So now we can learn the whole pasuk, read the whole pasuk Lamal Yusuf. Eichayot ba'apa. Apa means the anger. And which anger? The anger that a Yid has on his Yetzer Hara. He's angry at his Yetzer Hara, so he does tshuva. So through that, there is a thick cloud. The cloud of Klippa turns into a cloud of Kedusha. And through that, Ved Eicha, the essence Sfidas Agnuzas goes into the Koi, which is Malchus, in direct deposit, not the regular way. And that's how we say, Eicha Yov Ba'apa Yadoina is Bas Tzion, the Eden which are Bas Sim, Hishlich Meshamayim Eretz Tiferes. The Eibush said, forget about the Avodas Tzadikim, which is Ma'at, which goes slowly. It's Leif Mishal Shlocha, be fast. The day the Yidden do tshuva, the Eibush says, forget about Hadoim Ragloi. Forget about doing it. It'll be directly from the essence of Sfiras Agnuzas into Koi, eight Koi. So, so so this is a mimer that ever said the connection to Tisha B'Av to show how every pasuk in Eicha could be learned instead of a klola. I understand that klola has shown, but yeah, I mean it's techocha, but it's legreyusa, right? But instead of legreyusa, it should be lemalyusa. Find that the pshat is that Yirmiyah loved the Jews. He loved the Yidden. Chazal say in the Psikta that when Nebuchadnezzar was a young child, he was friends with Yirmiyahu Hanavi. And as a child, he hated the Jews. He said to Yirmiyah that if he's ever going to become a king, he's going to destroy the Beis Hamikdash. So Yirmiyahu said, I want you to promise that the first day of the Churban, you will let me save as many Jews as possible. Nebuchadnezzar broke through and started to destroy the Beis Hamikdash. Yirmiyah said, you have to keep your promise. So he said, I told you one day, till the sun sets, whatever you save, you can save. Yirmiyah tried to save as much Jews as he could. That's what the Psikta says. Say, why they call him Nevi'ah Churban? Because he was Misnaba on the Churban. He gave the Jews only Navi that no. Zal say that he always had a problem of Yirmiyah is that there was a lot of Nevi'ah Sheker in his time. That we learned in Tanya, remember, the Alter brings the debate he had against Hananya ben Ozur. He had a lot of Nevi'ah Sheker against him. And some of those Nevi'ah Sheker were originally Nevi'ah Emes. And that's why people believed them. But they said there won't be a Churban. Yirmiyah said if they're not going to do tshuva, there's going to be a churban. Yirmiyah said, already brought I understand, but still, if they did tshuva, then there wouldn't have been a churban. But he was in the side for so many years. So the Medrash says that when Yirmiyah went and kissed every Yid and cried with every Yid, Yirmiyah was exempt. He didn't. The Nebuchadnezzar liked him. He had no problem. So he could have stayed in the city of Anosis. He came on the day of the Churban. He came running from his city in Anosis. He could have stayed protected in the city. He knows Nebuchadnezzar likes him. And the Jews didn't like him. At the end, the Chazal say that he went down to Mitzrayim after they killed Gedalia ben Achikom. he went with the Yidden Mitzrayim, and they were so bored, they're so angry at his Musa that they killed him, and he was buried in Mitzrayim. Yeah, and the Goyim buried him with Kavod Gadol, and the Yidden killed him. We know where he's buried. No, we don't know where he buried him. Yeah, that's no, he said that will be. So we see that Yirmiyah was Oivan Shul Yisrael Benas. From all the Maimonides Chazal, when you read the Kinnis, how he was screaming and crying in a Tainus Derabban Shalom. So when you understand the union of Yirmiyahu Anovi, which was Anovi Emes, and the Chazal say that he had a lot of times he tried to keep his mouth shut, but he had no choice. Anovi Emes cannot hold back his Nebuah. He can't hold back. He has to say the Nebuah. So Chazal say that the four Nevi'im that were considered, whatever, Moshe Rabbeinu and Yirmiyahu is from them. The Kabbalah, like we said before, that just like Moshe Rabbeinu said Eicha, Yirmiyahu said Eicha, and because he was a Gilgal of Nishmas Moshe Rabbeinu. So it makes a lot of sense that, just like we said, Moshe Rabbeinu was Oiv and Shul Yisrael. Like when you read Yirmiyahu, Chas Shalom, you can come away, like he was a very, very angry guy. But he's a Navi Emes. He said what the Abish said. There's no such thing. I was Shabbos, I mentioned that the last time real Sharon came to the Rebbe, he was like, yeah, he was like, we're going to make sure there'll be Shlemut Haaretz. There's going to be, he was bragging to the Rebbe. The Rebbe ignored him. It's like, not nice. The Rebbe said, you have to make sure that in Eretz Yisrael they keep the Torah and the mitzvahs. Gave him a dollar, brought him Tzlach, and that's. Mordechai Eliyahu, Charim Labracha, said that it was still years later that Rebbe saw the Terlas that was eating in him, Shleimus Ahin, Shleimus Tehet. If you're going to do it because the Abish should be ace, but Teros Hagedosh, you're able to withstand the Sionis. And if you're a big guy, so it's not gonna work. It kind of tried around. It was 8 years Tzemach.
But Novi running around, he could be a disheveled guy, and he could be like not, the people that follow him. It's a big.
So now we know that Yirmiyahu was Oyev and Bamishal Yisrael, and therefore the Rebbe has a koch to read every pasuk in Eicha l'mal Yusa. That every pasuk has in it an unbelievable mindless about Tal Yisrael. This is the pasuk that the Rebbe picked. Why? Because I think, like I said, because Perek, if you look through, Perek Aleph is about Shleim, Perek Beis is about Klal Yisrael, Perek Gimel is about the Chur b'Mechlal. Perek Beis is about Klal Yisrael. The first, the Rebbe picked this pasuk. You see how the Rebbe learns unbelievable mindless. That apoy doesn't mean anger; it means that he does tshuva, and the thick clouds means that we're turning clouds of klipa into kedusha. And hishlich m'shamayim eretz teferes Yisrael means that the Eibishter says, forget about avodas sadikim, let's do avodas about tshuva. Apoy means forget about the union of Avraham Avinu, which is the midas hayesoid. Let's do direct gilui lakus. Shloi b'mtzos hayesoid. It's unbelievable.
Just came to my mind. What's the name of Yirmiyahu?
Huh?
Just came to my mind. Yarim Ka.
Yeah.
All the names back then.
Yeah.
Gedalia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yarim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though the Posh Tap Hashem. Right. We know that everything we learn in Torah, that makes it happen. K'mayim Razal, kol oisik b'Torah soila kilu hikra v'oila. Shalom Paras V'seinu. So Yirotzen shalim b'Torah b'Yanam Eskolim, the learning the Megillas Eicha in a way that every pasuk is a maila. Yifal l'mayar l'karev kiyum minyonim eilu kashe yikuya mayud she'of kiyum eilu l'sosim l'simcha b'kol mamash b'gol l'dan.
Amazing.
Exactly, like sosim l'simcha. You got a minion?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, amazing.
Call him upstairs.
Oh wow, you joined us, Herschel?
Yes, I did. Sorry about the noise. Okay.
Amazing.
Jacob, come downstairs.
Yeah. Then let me see.
Thank you for
Okay.
joining us, Pinchas.
Thank you.
Come
Welcome.
on, come
My
on.
dad's
We
also
need Pinchas Eliom and Vasera Giula.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Good night.